Okay, so you know that feeling. You spend like hours going over notes, maybe reading something really dense like 5 times. You feel like, okay, I've got this. It feels familiar. But then maybe the next day, someone asks you something slightly different about it and blank. Nothing. It's frustrating. And here's the kicker. Those easy strategies, rereading, highlighting, they often make us forget faster.
Yeah, it's this huge illusion of competence. And that's what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into the science of learning that actually works, drawing heavily from the book Make It Stick. The research by folks like Peter Brown, Henry Roediger, Mark McDaniel, it basically flips a lot of common study habits on their head. Our mission here is to figure out how you can build real, lasting knowledge you can actually use. So if you're ready to learn smarter, maybe get ready for a few surprises. Might be worth sharing this one if you know others trying to boost their learning game.
Right, let's get straight to that core idea, that sort of paradox you mentioned. The research basically says stuff that feels easy, like just rereading, least effective. And the stuff that feels hard, maybe even a bit stressful, that's what actually makes knowledge stick. They call them desirable difficulties.
Exactly. Desirable difficulties.
Uh,
Sounds weird, but the effort involved is actually a signal to your brain. It says, hey, pay attention. This is important.
hmm.
And the number one strategy here, the most powerful difficulty, is retrieval practice. So instead of just passively looking at your notes again, you have to actively pull that information out of your own head. Test yourself without peeking.
Okay, but testing yourself, that sounds stressful. What if I try to recall something and I get it wrong? Isn't that just reinforcing the mistake or just making me feel bad?
That's the common fear, but actually, no. That struggle, even getting it wrong initially, that's the learning process kicking in. When you strain to remember, you're strengthening those neural pathways. You're telling your brain, lock this down. It's not just about checking what you know. Retrieval builds the knowledge itself. Think of it like doing reps at the gym, but for your brain.
Okay, mental reps. I like that. So retrieval is what we do. What about when we do it? This brings us to cramming, right? Everyone does it, but we kind of know it doesn't work long term.
Right. We need to ditch what they call massed practice. That's just the fancy term for cramming everything into one session.
Yeah.
And instead, embrace spaced repetition. Cramming works for maybe a test tomorrow morning, but then it evaporates. If you spread that same amount of study time out over days or even weeks, you force yourself to forget a little bit in between, and that makes the next retrieval attempt harder, which counterintuitively makes the memory stronger and more durable.
Makes sense. It's like how you remember song lyrics you hear occasionally over years, not from listening 50 times in one night. So, retrieval, spacing. What's the third big one? You mentioned something about mixing things up, interleaving.
Ah, yes, interleaving. This one feels really messy while you're doing it, but it's incredibly effective. Instead of practicing one skill, say, your tennis forehand,
Yeah.
over and over before moving to backhand, you mix it up. Forehand, forehand, volley, in a randomish order. Or if you're studying, say, different types of math problems, you mix those up. Instead of doing all of type A, then all of type B.
Why does that work? It feels less efficient.
Because life isn't blocked practice. When you interleave, you're not just practicing the skill, you're practicing choosing the right skill or solution for the situation. You constantly have to figure out, okay, what kind of problem is this? What tool do I need?
Think about firefighters. They don't just drill putting out kitchen fires one day, then car fires the next. They drill varied, mixed scenarios because that's what real emergencies are like. It builds adaptability. Got it. So, retrieval, spacing, interleaving, they all connect back to that main idea. Learning needs to be effortful. That feeling of struggle isn't failure. It's the feeling of learning actually happening. Real, deep learning.
Precisely. So the so what for you listening. If you're a student, stop the passive highlighting. Start quizzing yourself, space out your study sessions. If you're a professional, maybe rethink training. Forget the one-day info dump workshop. Try shorter sessions, spaced out, with built-in recall practice. Honestly, in a world drowning in information, the ability to truly learn deeply and permanently, that's the ultimate advantage.
So here's a final thought to chew on. If your current way of learning feels comfortable, maybe even too easy, what's one desirable difficulty, retrieval, spacing, or interleaving that you could start using today to really make knowledge stick?
It's powerful stuff. We definitely recommend checking out the source, Make It Stick, if you want to go deeper on this.
Absolutely. And if this deep dive gave you something valuable, something you can actually use to learn better, please do us a favor. Like this. Share it with someone else who'd find it useful, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives. Because remember, knowledge is great, but it's only power when it sticks.